This is a video about losing friends on the path, on the spiritual path, about leaving the herd. Hello, this is Chris speaking. Wake up with a video about losing friends on the way. One of you suggested the topic of the diminishing number of friends that many of us experience on the spiritual path. And I would say it's very normal. It's very weird and also uncomfortable often, but quite normal. Because we're teenagers. We're spiritual teenagers. Human adulthood is beginning. And as with physical teenagers, there's less and less interest in playing children's games. Teenagers can be a bit exhausting because they're in between. They're not children anymore, but they're not adults yet either. So they're trying to find their own spot, their own niche. And this is the same here. Most people, at least 80%, they're psychologically at an age between 3 and 10. And physically, wherever they are. So, toddler age, kindergarten age, elementary school age. That's where most people are. And when you start to grow up and you're a teenager, when you're around 18, then you're not interested anymore at playing in the sandbox. Okay, maybe a little bit with your younger brother or sister or something for fun, for half an hour or so, but not all day long. So what are teenagers doing? They're leaving the herd. And what are people doing on the spiritual path? They're leaving the herd. And the herd is not amused. The queen is not amused. The herd wants you to stay with the herd and obey the rules. Be it work environment, family, friends. Family is usually the hardest. They have known you all your life and they don't really see why you have to start changing now. Which is nice on the one hand, they love you for who you are, but once you start changing, it can become troublesome. And then you will see who is really a friend of yours and who is just an acquaintance. Or where there are any codependencies or any other strange games being played that have been played already for a long time, you just didn't notice it. And once you stop playing your end of the game, once you leave your end of the bargain, conflicts can ensue. And people will start telling you how strange you are, or how egoistic, or how negative, and whatever. Especially those with a narcissistic trait or even disorder. Because they want to continue to feed of your confusion or fear or anger and so on. So you will probably quit your friendship with some people, and some people will quit their friendship with you, and that's normal. You will not really miss them later. In the beginning, yes, but later, no. Of course, it is kind of what's happening. Friends are getting less and less. But also for most people, not for everyone, if you're also a codependent person, then it might take a real crash where you lose all your friends. That happens sometimes. But usually, while the old friends that want something from you and play energetical games with you are diminishing, new friends will come, or very old friends to whom you have lost contact will come back. That can also happen. It's very common. Meaning the circle of your friends will change. And this is also one of the reasons for this channel and the Facebook group and so on, that there's a possibility for you to meet like-minded people from all over the world. Because while you are alone in the end, as you can see in my UG video, The Courage to Stand Alone, it is also, we are human beings, and human beings are animals, and we are group animals, we are mammals. And we need exchange, both physically and energetically on the one hand, but also mentally on the other hand, because otherwise we can get megalomaniac. Yeah, if we spend too much time with ourselves, there's no one to object to crazy ideas. And then it can happen that we lose our grounding and we think, okay, now we're Superman or Superwoman and we're at a place of enlightenment where no man has been before, which is untrue. Of course, every journey is kind of individual, but there's no place as such where no person has been before. Like the Buddha, the first Buddha, Gautama, he has been everywhere already. So I think exchange is very, very important, and to have a group of like-minded people is very, very important. And the further you get along on the path, unfortunately, the less people you will meet with whom you connect, with whom there is some kind of resonance, a natural resonance, and with whom you can easily talk about all kinds of subjects that are not just the usual small talk. So as I said, it might be said or appear to be said in the beginning that your circle of friends is getting smaller and smaller, but it is a natural process which you have to go through on your journey to human adulthood. And just as probably your kindergarten and primary school friends are not your friends now anymore, some might have remained, but most of them probably not. But you probably have made in your life new friends, especially through work, or neighbors, or the parents of your children's friends, and so on. The same will happen on the spiritual path. You will meet new friends, with the one exception that there are less out there. Being on the spiritual path basically means that you're moving to the boondocks, to the far out countryside where there are not many people living. So you will have neighbors, but not as many as before. This is of course not to misinterpret in a way that you're somehow better now. It's just that you're different, and it's more natural to connect with other people who are also a little bit different and crazy. Because that is how you will seem to the majority of other people, crazy. And why not? Let them think it. You don't have to justify yourself. And you also don't have to leave toxic relationships on purpose somehow with a violent break. It will just fall apart anyway by itself. So that's it on losing friends on the path and leaving the herd. Allow yourself to leave the herd and allow yourself that your circle of friends is changing. There's nothing to worry about. It's a natural process, which is even helpful because there will be less people holding you back in your development when you're becoming really adult. But on the other hand, you don't have to force it somehow. Yeah? Sometimes this happens that some people think, okay, now I have to break with all my previous friends because I'm so much in my development phase now. this is just also an infantile escape mechanism. Just let things unfold. You don't have to do anything. Those who are really your friends, they will stay, and others, they will fall away bit by bit, organically. Okay, thank you for listening and subscribing and joining me on Patreon or Facebook and sharing the videos with your friends, and see you soon.